Today we have 5 huge tips for high handicappers like me.
By me. So we're going to be working from tee to green all the way through, trying to give you some tips on how you can improve your game and lower your score. So
I need it.
Looking forward to it?
Oh yeah, I need it.
Let's go. Let's have it. Okay, so tip number 1. You might have heard me bang on about it in recent videos, but it's something Posty here doesn't do.
A lot.
And it's just making sure that you are actually lining up to where your target is. So here on this hole, we've got trouble on the right.
Yep.
2 bunkers.
And the trees,
if you're that big of a left to right. But on the left, it is only rough. So the bunker's probably about a 200-yard carry. So, how far can you hit your driver?
Probably about 200 yards, to be honest, on average.
So then your aim is just over this left bunker. But it's making sure, and the easy way to do that is when you're looking here now, pick something out about 6 inches in front of your ball. So if I'm aiming straight down here, I can see sort of this tuft of grass, yeah?
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be anything in particular. It can just be something that you're looking at. And I know if I square my club face when I address it,
Yep.
and I'm aiming over that piece of grass,
Yep.
which I am, I know I can then be confident in my starting line at least of where I'm aiming. So for high handicappers, they'll just think, you know what, drive a hole. I know this bunker's on the right, but I'll just step up and I'll smack it. And more often than not, you'll be aiming straight down
the middle,
knowing your shot's a left to right shot, and guess what? You put yourself in the rough or the bunkers or the trees, and that's not what you want. So like I said, stand behind it. Oh, it takes you 2 seconds.
Yep.
Straight up. You see the piece of grass here, little weird little tuft. And because there's no trouble left, but trouble right, if I just square my club face to that, look at it, look up, I know I'm at it, and then.
Right, so teeing ground. Stand back, have a good look at it.
So where do you want your target line to be first?
So for me, target line is going to be probably towards that bunker on the left, knowing my shot shape.
Yep.
So I'm immediately looking at this now, and quite fortunately actually I've got a pretty big divot in line with that. So as I go to it now, I'm looking at that divot and I'm making sure that that face is squared up to that divot.
And guess what? You are.
Good?
Yep.
Learning already. And then let's see if we've got the shot to match, eh?
And that is absolutely bang at the line. With your left to right.
Best drive I've ever hit, to be honest.
Left to right, and it's in the bloody fairway.
He's a good teacher.
So tip number 2 is you've got to know your yardages for each club. Obviously, know your yardages full. Know your yardages for maybe if you was doing it on a clock, for like a 9 o'clock swing, 10 o'clock swing, maybe 11, depending on how your swing actually is. But so we've got 110 in here. For me, I know it's a 55, just short of full power.
This is where this becomes a problem for me, because I know I'm somewhere in between probably a pitching wedge and a 9.
Yeah.
But it's also, so for me, I'm always thinking I'll take the wind, and that might sway my decision one way or the other.
But then do you ever sort of think so for course management, you've got bunkers short and a run-off short, which is going to come back to you. So if anything, you do want to be a bit big, but not
to take these out of play.
Take the bunkers out of play, 100%.
Yeah.
And it's just little things like that. I know you're saying about the wind, which is right to think about, but you've also got bunkers, you've got maybe, I don't know, a tougher chip back right, an easier chip back left. It's just sort of thinking about where's the best miss. What did you say, between pitching wedge and 9?
Yeah, so I'd probably say now, after that, I'd be taking the 9 out and just making sure it gets there. And if it's a little bit long and off the back, then so be it.
Yeah. Okay.
So really, you've got the first stage of that, which you said tip 2, is 1, know your yardages. Yeah. And then tip 3, I guess, is your course management with looking at where the traps are, looking at where danger is.
And again, with course management comes, if that pin was tucked way behind on the left,
Yeah, and you've got to go directly over the bunker for the pin.
Yeah, some of the best pros in the world might not even take that on.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they would on sort of this course, but just hit the centre with the green and leave yourself a putt.
Yeah, just eliminate the risk.
There's no need, especially if you're trying to lower
So most
score.
people of my handicap would just look at the pin and just go for it, regardless
100%.
on every hole.
And I think even I'm guilty of that sometimes.
Yeah,
if I was actually trying to score a round and I see this pin tucked back left, missing left is a short-sided chip, middle of the green is a longer putt.
Yeah.
Like I'm taking a long putt every day of the week.
Yeah. But in a high handicapper's head, it's like, if I pull this off, it's the best shot in the world and you're going to get that buzz off it.
100%.
Rather than just playing the sensible shot.
But I can guarantee you now, you might have one of them in every 1,000 shots.
Yeah, 100%.
And the other 999, you'll be front left bunker.
Yeah, in a world of trouble.
Taking 2 or 3 out. So,
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I would say tip 2, know your yardages. Tip 3, just have a look what's around you when you're playing your shots.
Yeah.
That's a beauty. So it's a tad long, just back edge.
Fringe.
Back edge, but you're taking that all day.
Yep.
Okay, so tip number 4 is chipping. And obviously in a situation like this, I would probably say maybe get your putter out, but obviously we can't, we've got this puddle here. So tip number 4 is chipping, and again, you're guilty of it. You sort of one club around the greens.
Oh yeah.
Your favourite club.
Yep, definitely.
And what's yours? Your gap wedge.
Yep.
And I would just say it's unnecessary to have that sort of loft on a shot like this. What, 30 foot is it?
Yes, there's not a lot.
Got a lot of green to work with.
Yeah.
So you might as well use the green. It's there.
I mean, I guess what I do makes sense if you've got a bunker in front.
Yeah, 100%.
But like you say, with stuff like this, it's just more about getting comfortable with the right shot.
So for this shot, I would recommend a pitching wedge or a 9-iron.
Yep.
But what you're going to do, instead of trying to get all fancy and lift it in the air, we're just going to come in close. Sorry, that's your ball. Let me get mine. We're going to come in close. Yep.
Right.
Feet together.
Feet together.
Gripping way down the shaft. And you can almost see that now. My toe is in the ground, but my heel is above it. And it's basically called toe down chipping. Now, this is an absolute get out of jail free card because it works everywhere. And all it is, feet together, toes down, and then it's just one putting stroke. Don't have to do anything different, no hinging of the wrists. Just one putting stroke. The only thing you have to worry about is the weight and getting the distance right.
So when you say toe down, just explain that a bit more, because that to me, like if you said toe down, I've got this in my head, like having a crazy angle club, but
you're not far off it from that, because you're standing closer. It's more vertical. This toe being down doesn't allow the heel.
I see it now. Yeah.
Doesn't allow the heel to sort of connect with the grass first, so you won't fat it. So if you're just down, then it's just a smooth.
So I was just doing a bit of an over-exaggerated
version
of it there.
If you're like this, and then you're adding all your hinging and whatnot,
you're
more likely to
room for error.
Hit behind the ball. And if you're not using the bounce on your clubs, then that's a whole different conversation. But you'll end up thinning and fatting and whatnot. But all we're going to do is move in, toe down, grip down, and then just like a putting stroke.
Yep.
And we'll give it a go, why not? I mean, it's a touch short, but the greens are wet. But
you take that every day though, as a high handicapper.
So let's see how he does it. So I would say in even closer.
Even closer than that, yeah?
Make sure the toe's down. That toe doesn't look down enough,
Like that. I'll go over it now.
I want to see the heel off the ground. Grip more down and that's it.
Ah, right, okay, yeah. So the lower grip allows you to...
Right,
yeah, makes sense.
All it is just a putting action. You got it?
Oh, nearly went in. Okay, so we now have the 5th and final tip. We're on the green, we're putting. One thing I've always done putting, I've never really had any technique, had no kind of thought process behind it. I just go up and go off feel. There's nothing more to it for me.
And I think that is probably 90% of other high handicappers. They've never really had a lesson on putting.
Yeah.
It's just literally, you go to the driving range, you hit 100 balls and forget about the flat stick, which is probably the only club you'll use on every hole. So
yeah,
it's definitely important if you want to lower your score. So then when we have in our practice swing, one thing that I see from my friends, high handicappers, is they'll have a practice swing. Yeah, okay, they'll look at the hole once, but then the practice swings are down here, looking at the ball.
Yeah.
And that's doing absolutely nothing. That ball's not going to move until you hit it. I'll take practice swings whilst looking at the flag, and it's just gauging that distance, that how hard I actually have to hit the ball.
Yeah.
I'm not looking down at the ball. That ball's not moving until I address it. I'm just looking at the flag and just gauging that distance and how hard I've got to hit the ball.
Yeah.
Give it a go now. Looking at the hole. Gonna have 2 practice swings. Looking at it. 1, 2. Feeling confident with the weight. So all I've got to worry about now is the line. And for this example, I'll just aim straight at the hole. And it's up there.
Good weight.
If it's on line, it goes in. So let's see what the high handicapper can do with that bit of information. It's a good weight.
Not far off.
I mean, you're a foot away. It's gimme range. It's a 2-putt.
I'd take that though.
Exactly.
I'd be more than happy with that.
And one of the main ways you'll bring your score down is getting rid of this 3-putting. Obviously, I know in the Discord there's quite a few that 3-putt, so hopefully this helps. It's a little bit further away. Again, give me range. You can't argue with it. You can't argue with being a foot away.
Getting closer.
Can't argue with it. You're being 2 inches away.
There we go.
There it is.
The last one.
One
In
to
it goes.
finish.
Just a pro golfer now, basically, after them 5 tips.
But yeah, so.
But it's not about getting to scratch at this level. It's just about
not.
shaving them shots off, getting the score down, and then just keep building on it and building on it.
But when you lose these shots, you will see that it's just the little things that can shave 4 shots off, 5 shots off.
Yeah.
And when you put it all together, that's when you start shaving maybe 8 shots off, 9 shots off.
And especially for me, I think when you mentioned course management, approaching that green, aiming for the middle, not the pin, things like that, because I know it's obviously different for someone like yourself at your level or a pro golfer, but if I end up in that bunker, that isn't just one added shot, that could be 2, 3, 4, because I could fin it to the back, I could take 3 to get out of the bunker, and then that hole's then just a big problem to the scorecard.
Yeah, well, I tell you what then, we'll do a bunker tutorial.
I need it. A few of these guys probably would like that as well.
But yeah, so we'll get one of them sorted, but if you guys have got any other ideas, any other tips that you want to know about, just bang them in the Discord or reply in the comments, and we'll see what we can do. So yeah, until next week.
Hope it helped.
Yeah, bye-bye.